But Emily wasn't paying attention to him. She was drawn to the mirror. She walked closer, curiously looking at her own reflection. Her face looked pale in the flashlight's glow, her green eyes wide with an unseen fear, but something was different. The gaze in the mirror, it looked colder, more emotionless, as if it wasn't entirely her, Emily. Alex's voice pulled her from her thoughts. "Look at this." Emily turned. Alex was kneeling on the floor in a corner of the room. He had found something. She walked over. In the beam of Alex's flashlight was a small brown leather-bound notebook, worn with age, lying amidst the dust. "What is it?" Emily asked. Alex carefully picked it up, blowing the thick layer of dust off the cover. He opened it. To the first page inside were lines of handwritten text in black ink, the script slanted and elegant. "Look," Alex said, handing the notebook to Emily. "This handwriting, does it look familiar?" Emily took the notebook, her heart beating inexplicably fast. She looked at the words. Alex was right. The handwriting looked very familiar. It was almost identical to her own handwriting. "Impossible," she whispered. She had never seen this notebook before. They began flipping through the pages. The content seemed to be a diary, recording scattered thoughts and events. Emily skimmed a few entries. They spoke of childhood memories, fears, dreams. Everything was vague, yet strangely familiar. "What the hell is going on?" Alex said, standing up and brushing the dust off his pants. "Someone came in here, unlocked the door, left this notebook, and then vanished." "Maybe it's a prank," Emily said. But she didn't believe her own words. Or maybe the principal has some secrets. This room could be where he stores old things. "And he keeps a diary in your handwriting?" Alex retorted, his eyebrows knitted in disbelief. There was no logical explanation. The sense of unease in Emily's heart grew. This room, this mirror, this notebook. They all exuded a strange, unsettling aura. "We have to get out of here," Alex said. Emily nodded, but her hand still clutched the notebook. She couldn't leave it behind. It was the only clue. "I'm taking it with me," she said. "I need to read it." Alex looked at her worriedly but didn't protest. They quickly left the room, not daring to look at the mirror one more time. They stepped out into the hallway, pulling the wooden door shut behind them. This time, they heard a soft click as the latch automatically fell into place. The room was once again locked tight. The walk home from school was shrouded in silence. Neither Emily nor Alex said a word, each lost in their own chaotic thoughts. The chill of the Ohio night seemed insignificant compared to the cold dread from their recent experience. They walked quickly, their shoes making sharp sounds on the empty sidewalk, as if trying to escape the very shadow of the school receding behind them. When they reached Emily's house, Alex just gave a slight nod before quickly crossing the street to his own home. There were no goodbyes, no plans for tomorrow, only a silent understanding that tonight had changed something between them. Emily tiptoed into her house, her heart still pounding. Luckily, her parents were fast asleep. She snuck up to her attic room, closed the door, and leaned against it, finally able to let out a sigh of relief. The familiar room, with its band posters on the walls and clothes strewn over a chair, offered a fragile sense of security, but that feeling quickly vanished when her eyes fell on her backpack. Inside was the notebook. She sat down at her desk, the warm yellow light from her lamp enveloping her. She carefully placed the notebook on the desk. Its leather cover was soft and worn, feeling as if it had existed for decades. She took a deep breath and opened it. The slanted, elegant handwriting once again sent a shiver down her spine. It was so similar to her own. But not exactly. It seemed neater, a bit more decisive, as if it were the handwriting of another version of herself. A more mature and calmer version. She started reading from the first page. April 12th. Again. I saw the robin perched on the oak tree. Branch outside the window. It tilted its head, looking at me. Sometimes I wonder if it remembers me. Emily frowned. She remembered that robin. It used to build a nest in the oak tree, outside her window, every spring when she was little, but she had never written about it. She turned to another page. August 3rd. Dad gave me a blue bicycle for my 7th birthday. I fell and scraped my knee. The scar is still there, a reminder that sometimes you have to get hurt to learn how to keep your balance. Emily unconsciously touched her right knee. There was still a faint scar there, a result of her first time learning to ride a bike, but she remembered crying loudly at the time. While the writer here seemed pensive, philosophical, the more she read, the more her confusion grew. Every memory in the notebook was hers. The first fishing trip with her dad, the first time she saw snow, the sadness when her hamster died. But they were all recounted through the lens of a completely different person. This writer was a quiet observer, an introspective and thoughtful person. They noticed small details that Emily, who always talked a lot and acted before thinking, would have missed. This writer was more like Alex than like her. It felt as if someone had broken into her head, stolen her most precious memories, and rewritten them in their own way. A horrifying violation. Her hands began to tremble, her eyes widened in astonishment, scanning from page to page. October 21st. I like sitting in the back row in class, where I can watch everyone without being noticed. The world is so noisy. Silence is so precious. No. Emily always sat in the front. She liked to participate in lectures, to talk to her friends. She hated silence. This notebook wasn't a joke. It was an impossibility, a different version of her life, existing in parallel on these old pages, confused and scared. Emily slammed the notebook shut. She needed to sleep. Maybe when she woke up, everything would be back to normal. She hid the notebook under a stack of textbooks, turned off the light, and crawled into bed. But her mind was still racing with the strange words. She fell asleep, and into a dream. In the dream, she was walking down the hallway of Millfield High School. But everything was reversed. The light didn't come from the lamps but from the floor, casting strange shadows on the ceiling. She wasn't scared at all. She walked calmly, silently, hands in her pockets. Next to her was Alex. But this wasn't the Alex she knew. He was talking non-stop, his voice full of anxiety, constantly pointing at trivial things. Emily, look, that locker is dented. Do you think someone punched it? Or was it an impact? And why is the hallway so cold today? I forgot to bring a thick jacket. Do you think we'll catch a cold? The Emily in the dream just listened silently, her face emotionless. She was the silence, he was the whirlwind. Emily woke up with a start. Her heart was pounding. Faint morning light seeped through the curtains. The dream still haunted her mind, vivid and frighteningly real. She sat up, feeling that something was different. Her mind, usually groggy in the morning, was unusually clear today. She looked around her room. Everything was neater than usual. She remembered tidying up briefly before bed last night, an act she rarely performed. She went downstairs for breakfast. Her mother, as usual, was busy in the kitchen. Good morning, sweetie. Sleep well. Don't forget your lunch. I left it on the table. Good morning, Mom. I slept well. I see it, Emily replied. Her mother stopped, turning to look at her with surprise. You see it? Usually I have to remind you 3 times. Emily just shrugged. She didn't know why either. She just remembered as she sat down at the table instead. of chattering about her weekend plans as usual. She silently ate her cereal. The thoughts in her head seemed to flow more orderly. No longer jumping from topic to topic, she talked less. And she forgot less. The small change made her feel both relieved and uneasy. It felt as if she was no longer entirely herself, as if a piece of the person in the diary, of the quiet girl in the dream, had merged with her confusion mixed with curiosity. Rose again. She had to talk to Alex only. He could understand asterisk. The entire day passed in a hazy fog for Emily. The small changes in her behavior continued at school. She found herself participating less in class discussions, preferring instead to observe. From the back, she answered teachers' questions concisely and to the point, which surprised her friends. She no longer forgot to bring her books or lose her pens in the surface. It seemed she had become a better, more organized student, but inside, a sense of unease was slowly gnawing at her. She felt like a guest in her own body. The urge to talk to Alex grew stronger. But she hadn't seen him all day. He had been absent from school. A text she sent at noon was met with silence. By evening, Emily's patience had worn out. She couldn't bear another moment of this confusion asterisk. After making sure her parents were asleep, she grabbed her phone, climbed into bed, and pulled the covers over her head. The guilt of calling so late was quickly overshadowed by her fears. She found Alex's name in her contacts and pressed the call button. The long rings echoed in the quiet night, each one like a hammer blow to her chest asterisk. She was about to give up when the other end finally answered. Hello? Alex's voice was sleepy and a little annoyed. Alex? It's me, Emily, she whispered, her voice trembling. Sorry for calling so late, but I have to talk to you. There was a pause on the other end. Emily could hear rustling as Alex sat up in bed. Emily. What's wrong? Are you okay? The annoyance in his voice had been replaced by concern. I don't know, she answered honestly. It's about the notebook and other things.